Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. I am Beth Roy, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and it is shaping up to be kind of a crazy weekend here. We got a little bit of flurries overnight, just enough to stick to our cars, but still, I'm not quite ready for winter to be knocking on my door. So today, I want to have a little fun making some handmade tags. So I'm just gonna check my page here, make sure my video's rolling, hopefully my notifications went out and all that good stuff. So if you pop in, say good morning. And good morning, Linda. I have been, yesterday I crafted for late into the night. Like, I think it was 9 o'clock when I stopped. Not really late into the night, but really for crafting, when you started early yesterday, I started yesterday about noon. And so I did take a few little breaks and I watched On Stage right here. On Stage is Stampin' Up's training event for our new January to June mini, and there's lots of exciting new products coming in January, and Celebration happens again in January, so it's a really fun time. It's fun to see the product demonstrations and hear about our year in review. I earned 3 awards. I got award in team leadership. We have 4 levels. I earned level 1. I earned level 1 in sales, and I earned my 5-year badge. So I got that back in February, but they celebrate our anniversaries at our event, our training event. So it was really fun. I loved seeing who made the top demonstrators in all the countries, and I loved celebrating the ladies in the US that I follow and tend to look up to that made the top spots. So while I was only at level 1, I will take it. I am very proud of the business that I am making, and I'm so thankful for my customers and every one of you that allow me to share my creativity. So thank you, Linda. It is definitely exciting to see your names scroll on the list no matter where it is. It's still fun and exciting. And today, I know I made a post yesterday. I'm going to show you all my tags that I made. And I had a little craft session with my friend Jenny. And so I'm going to show you one of our happy accidents that I definitely want to share. And I'm about partway done with one tag. So we can either finish the tag I started or we can start a new one. This past week I celebrated 20 years married with my husband, and today we are going to spend the day together. So when I'm done with this video, I'm checking out of my craft room for a little while to have a full day of fun with him. So I did ask that you kind of think of some color combos. So we can either use the color combo that I just came up with, or we can, use one that I've used, or if you have something you'd like to try. So tags can go to anybody. If you give your neighbor a gift, I'm going to show you, okay? This is what, here's a little sneak peek for my team. If you're on my team, you're going to be getting some little holiday gifts from me. And this is a tag that I made. I bought this bag at the dollar store, and I bought this really cute tissue paper online. So you could use whatever you can find. If you have a party store, I just couldn't really find what I wanted, so I went on to Amazon and found it. And I loved it because to me it looks like pool party. And that's the colors I wanted. And it matches my tag that I made. and I just tied it on the bag. So I will tell you something I do for my nieces and nephews. So if you have people that you are giving gifts, I give gift cards. So I make them, I buy little bags at a hobby store. They're the little tiny bags. So they're like that, but I buy craft or white or whatever color scheme I want. And then I put tissue paper in there. I make them an ornament every year. My sister hangs them on her tree. And I'm not sure, I give them to all my, I have 2 nieces and the rest nephews, tons of them. And I make them an ornament, and then I give them a gift card. Now, some of the younger kids I do gifts, but you can put a gift tag on your pretty wrapped gift. So I've made them as squares or rectangles before, circles, but this year we have the Tailor Made Tag dies, and I love them. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you some of the ones that I've made, and then I will show you some of my color schemes, because I like to pick a color scheme and then just use a ton of different things. If you give anybody birthday presents, I'm going to show you some birthday tags that I made. Now, I don't really do thank you. I usually just do thank you cards. So I did all Christmas related or holiday, because sending love and peace doesn't necessarily have to be for Christmas. Good morning, Jarvetta. Linda, no. I'm hoping that tomorrow I will get that sign up posted for the ornaments. So the ornament class, my in-person class is in December, but I'm going to put the class to go up early so that I can get all of that mailed out to you right after Thanksgiving, so you have time to make them. So that will be posted up soon. And I usually do wood slices. I have grapevines. I have different ones. So you're going to get a mix, and you're just going to get a PDF that shows you what I use and how I did it. And you're welcome to customize those to whatever stamps, inks, etc. that you have. But yeah, it is a popular thing. I've been doing it for many years, and it's really fun. I know, and that's why I want to get it out, because I'm really worried it's going to get caught up. And I will send those priority mail, but they're not guaranteeing anything. So I don't know. I hope everyone can get them in time, because I don't even know. I mean, it would be crazy if I tried to ship them faster, and they won't guarantee 2-day and overnight anyways. So hopefully I can get all those out, and the mail gods will be in our favor, right? So I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. So if you come in, say hi. I'm going to point you guys down because I want to get busy, because I need to end right at 10 today. So I'm going to show you all the gorgeous things. Like I said, and these can be gifts. You can make birthday tags or other occasion tags, weddings, whatever somebody would give a gift for, and use these as a gift. Give them to your coworkers, your neighbors, your mail lady or mail person, or whomever that you know that you think would enjoy this kind of gift. So I'm going to show you how I packaged some of mine. It's not all prettied up. I just kind of thought of it yesterday, and I was on a roll, so I hadn't got that far. But you can imagine along with me. So let's point down. We'll see if... I don't want effects. I don't know. Facebook has changed things, so I'll be taking my camera out and flipping it around again. So here we go. I hate to not point up to my face because I like to start out chit-chatting, but it definitely makes it a little bit harder. So let me rearrange here, get us all straight. And I'm going to show you what I have been doing. So, and I have a mess. If you saw my, craft room that I posted, that was actually pretty clean. I had actually put some things away before I took that picture, but it has been crazy. And I have glue literally everywhere because when you see, I just had fun with a ton of strips yesterday. So here's two that I did, a smaller tag, and then this cute little tag. And I actually borrowed the sweet little stockings from Jenny because I didn't have this yet. And so she was gracious enough to come over and craft with me and let me borrow. And then she obviously borrowed a few things from me. These are our mini paper pumpkin boxes. And look, you guys, whoa, it is stuffed with tags. So I have cute little birthday tags, and I'm going to show you my color scheme. So this was a color scheme that I tried last night. I only managed to do 2 with it. But this was cherry cobbler, real red, grainy apple green, balmy blue, and I had smoky slate on this one, and I thought it was too dark, so I left it white on this one. But I did Stampin' Smoky Slate. And then these tags, I love these. I made a couple birthday tags. So the Tailor Made Tags has lots of sized dies. Let me grab those so that you can see them. And I forgot to check this morning. I know they were on back order or not orderable. So I'm hoping they come back in soon. I know with On Stage, it's been, everybody has been preoccupied with other things. So these are the dies, and you have 4 sizes with each style, and then they have these little pieces that go up here for where your ribbon goes through I don't know what they're called, hole protector, hole reinforcer, whatever those things are. That's what they are. Now this one, this is probably my favorite. I have been wanting to try this color combo for quite some time, and so I decided yesterday was the day, and it's just gorgeous. I love it. So this is Mary Merlot, Blushing Bride, Basic White, and Smoky Slate. And I made several holiday tags. So, and I made a couple of the birthday tags. Aren't these gorgeous? I love these. And I also, on several of them, I hope you guys can see this, I splattered Wink of Stella on these to give them a little bling. So I want to tell you something. How many of you have this double-sided ribbon from last year's mini catalog? So let's see, it would have been August of 2020. And I had this ribbon. So let me just show you, okay? I have lots of ribbon. I'm a ribbon hoarder. I have lots of ribbon and embellishments stacked up here. And this is what I took off my shelf, okay? Because I actually have a ribbon shelf over by my computer. I have lots of ribbon. So obviously they're going to still coordinate with my Stampin' Up colors because, well, they're all Stampin' Up products, and that is the beauty of Stampin' Up. So we have this twine combo pack, but trust me, I also hoard twine. So you can get this in the annual catalog, and it has five spools in here, and it has white, black, crumb cake, gray granite, and very vanilla. And so I use this as my tag hanger. It's, I've got glue everywhere still. It's actually laced through this before I pull it tight. So then I just tie it. You can tie it onto the bag, you can knot it, or you can loosely tie a bow so that your recipient could keep this tag. I would hang this on my tree. I think it's cute. And if you do them very general with, even if they don't have words on them, they could become paper ornaments. So this one, I stamped the tree, and I love this. This is the Peaceful Deer. And I know some of our tools and things are on back order. So even though I'm showing you a variety of things, you could use the retired deer if you have those. You could use whatever you have. And this ribbon, you got to be careful. It actually frays. So this is the Blushing Bride. I put it back on my shelf, but this is in the current mini catalog. So if you have this older ribbon, use it up. I love this color scheme. Okay, so my next, and this is a gray granite ribbon. And even though I used Smoky Slate with these other ones, I think it looks stunning. And this would go really cute with a little gift that you're giving somebody. Like I said, I even put gift cards down in my gift bags. I like to really pretty things up. So here's a, oops, my snowflake got bent a little bit. Here's another color scheme that I did. Okay, so it's Blackberry Bliss, Basic White, Smoky Slate, and Fresh Freesia. This was a color challenge that a group that I'm in posted. So here's these. I used vellum, and I used some really pretty ribbon. And here's another birthday tag. Now this tag, I didn't use a die cut. I made this the size I wanted. I used the trio punch to round my corners, and then I used a ribbon. It's a slot die from the seasonal labels. And then here is my other favorite. This again is from those seasonal label dies, and then I used the ribbon punch on the end. This was Misty Moonlight, Pool Party, Smoky Slate, and Basic White. So I used a lot of the same neutrals and just switched out my colors. So here's all my tags. You can color these snowflakes, these wonderful snowflakes. There's 24 in a pack. One side is shiny iridescent, like this. You've seen these tags. So all my other tags that I've made the previous weeks are down in here. And you could make a set of 10 tags, package them up, really pretty, and that is a gift. You use what you have on hand to make all your tags. So essentially, this is a great gift because you're using up some of your products and you've already paid for these things, so why not make some pretty things to give away? This is a Smoky Slate ribbon out of the annual catalog. This is an embossing folder that we have in the mini. And then a lot of these are splattered with Wink of Stella because I wanted them to be shiny. So the color scheme that I pulled out, I'm going to show you. Like I said, if you don't have a reason to use holiday tags, make a set of birthday tags as a gift. I mean, you don't have to. I won't probably never use all of these tags. We don't know. I might use them as ornaments because I like to put a little tree down here in my room. So there's all the tags and the color schemes I've used so far. I used Shaded Summer, and I love this Happy Birthday that is in there. So like I said, use what you have, and I just packaged it all in there. I have a ton in there. So here's one that I was working on. I hadn't finished yet using the Peaceful Cabin. And this is the die from the Sweet Little Stockings. It's the little banner die, and then I embossed it. Now when I make my tags, I do 2 layers for my base so that it's really sturdy. And then I did a fun partial die cut technique here to layer this. So I haven't put this one together yet. But I want to give you guys an opportunity, and I'm going to try to speed myself up a little bit because you know how I like to talk and I like to do things, and so I want to make sure that we have plenty of time. I picked out this color scheme this morning. It's Granny Apple Green, Mossy Meadow, Misty Moonlight, Pool Party, and Basic White. So I don't know what you're thinking, if you've been thinking, if you heard my call to think of a color scheme, but we can use any of the color schemes that I've used previously. I have tons of paper laying everywhere, even though I did clean up my space for my live. So we can grab anything. So do you guys want to try something with this color scheme? Would you like to do one like this? This is actually fairly simple. I can do the strippy background really quick, and then I die cut it. And then I can show you, I want to show you this little tip, that discovery we made for these snowflakes. So let me hold that up so you can see it. And I want to make sure I show you that. So even if we don't use it for the tag, I want to show you that before the end. So do you guys want to do a tag with the strips of these colors? And I'll show you how I did that. Or let's see. Or do you have some other colors in mind? Finding my things here. And I actually have a bucket with a ton of strips in it. So I have lots of stuff cut up, so I'm just going to cut a little piece so that we can die cut my tag here. Oops. Is everybody still with me? I'm not sure if I paused. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure that I felt like I paused, so I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so Linda, you don't like the granny apple green. Okay. We could remove it. We could do these 4 colors. You don't have to have 5. I was just trying to bring in a bright color. We could substitute it with Old Olive. And I have a little piece here. So we could stamp something, or we can do this one really quick. So here's all the snowflake ones that I did, and I absolutely love these. Like I said, you can find some. I have white bags. You can get different colored bags and really dress them up and make them fun. Let's see. And then I can do a simple stamped one like this and just use my markers to color it in. Good morning, Dad. Thanks for popping in. Which one do you like, Linda? Let me know, and I will grab those colors. Do you want to do the strippy background, or do you want to do some simple stamping? So when you use your cardstock, this is a great way to use it up, especially if you are cutting mats or layers often, then you're going to have tons of these little strips. So Linda says third from the left. So this, the Mary Merlot and the Blushing Bride. The one in the middle. So this one, Patricia says simple stamping. Well, if I hurry, I might be able to have time to do 2. I love making these. Like I said, I pretty much worked on color schemes yesterday, and I had so much fun doing these. Now this one was a little bit different because I did a little scrap piece of paper, and then I die cut it with a stitched rectangle, so this look is very different. But I think I like this. I decided to do that this week. Okay, so I think we're doing this one, which I have a ton of strips, and then we should have time to do that as well. So let me grab the strips. To do this background, I highly recommend having the silicone mat. We can do both. I promise they're quick. They're quick. So this is what I do. I have a ton of strips, and I just lay them out. So these are white. We have the basic white, and I have 2 sizes. And we have Blushing Bride and Mary Merlot. And I just separate mine by color. And then we have some of the Smoky Slate. So we'll do 2. Now, I know I'm trying to get all this on camera, so normally I'm really spread out. But the silicone mat, you can put adhesive on this, and then it doesn't get all over your workspace. So I highly recommend this mat. And then I'm going to use Stampin' Seal, and I'm just going to add adhesive all over this piece. And it does get a little messy, but that's the fun, and I don't mind. And I go down each side just to make sure, and one time down the middle, that I got plenty adhesive on there. And then I just go with a pattern. So sometimes I will practice, I'll lay it out and see if I like them in a certain order. And this is the one I picked for this. So I just liked the colors in that order. And then I like to vary mine. I use, you can go side to side, up and down, diagonal. You can make all kind of really fun patterns. I'm just gonna go this direction, and I like to start at the bottom, and I just line it up. I try to get it as straight as possible, and this does have a little bit of leeway to move it a little bit, and I just try to make sure it's straight. And then I just keep adding them. And I pull it down a little bit, and then I make sure it goes flat. So this was my favorite color scheme that I tried, and I just couldn't believe how much I loved it. So you're probably going to see this color scheme a lot here soon, because I really had a lot of fun with it. So I'm just pulling it up and making sure that I get these right on top of each other. I don't want any spaces in there. And I started out with a piece of 2 1/4 by 4, because when I die cut my tag, it's about 2 inches by 3 and 3 7/8. So that helps me not have it too big, so I'm not wasting anything. Sometimes I have a little, depending on how my strips work out, I do have some to throw away, but I'm okay with that. So I'm just, like I said, quickly laying these down. You can take as much time as you want. I'm not trying to be super particular about this. I just want to make sure that they are tight so that I can stay, keep my lines straight. And if they get a little wonky, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. And I just vary. My strips are 1/2 inch by, and I'm not worried about the length, but they're 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. And I think somehow I might have gotten a little sideways, but because I'm a little off right there, but that's okay. It could have been a little off when I started. So this is what the back looks like. And I'm just gonna pull that adhesive that got stuck on there off. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna firmly press on this and make sure they all are stuck down. And then I'm gonna take my scissors, and these are really gunky from all these backgrounds I made yesterday. So I have a gunky pair of scissors, and then I have a pair that I don't, that I just use to cut trim paper that doesn't have glue on them. But these are my scissors that have definitely been gunked up, and I will take them to the sink and wash them when I clean up. But last night, after crafting all night, I just didn't feel like it, so I closed the door and walked away. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about trimming this side because we're going to die cut this. So this just cleans up, the adhesive just peels off of it. It's wonderful. If you don't have one of those, you want to make sure that you add that. So I'm going to bring in my mini here. We'll see which way I can turn it here. And you'll need platform 1, and then your number 2 of your number 2, so 2 of your cutting plates. And I like to double layer my tags, so I have a plain one here that we're going to layer this on. So I'm going to put that down. I'm going to take my tag out. And because these little things cut so many, I actually have some already laying over here that coordinate. So I'm just going to grab from my pile. So I'm just going to lay this down how I like it. And I am going to grab some, I use Post-it label, it's called labeling and cover-up tape, because it's not as sticky as some of the other tapes. So I'm gonna pull this off for a second so that I can look at it and line it up. And I actually want the red at the bottom. And this has glue on it, so it's sticking to my plate. That's okay. So I'm going to lay my die on my striped background how I want it. And I'm trying to make sure this side we trimmed so I know it's straight. And then I'm just going to add a little piece of tape there. And you can tape both sides. As you can see, I've been using mine a lot, so they're a little, oops. And I'm just going to run it through. Good morning, Tracy. Trying not to shake too much. So I'm making some tags. We just did a strippy background, and now I'm die cutting it for my tag. Luckily, I've been doing this, so I have lots of bits and pieces. Now, see how that had adhesive on it? You can just take, I use plain baby wipes, unscented. You can wipe those off, or you can run to the sink when you're all done and you can wash it with some mild soap. Oops, I just ripped my paper. So be really careful, don't do that. It can pull your cardstock because you've taped it down. So I try not to put my tape inside here, but that's okay. We're not going to worry about it. It'll look just fine. And then now if you do this and you feel like it didn't cut all the way, you might have to go back and then forth. Like I just went through one time. You might have to go forward and then roll it back through if it didn't cut all the way through. I only had that problem once yesterday, and a lot of times it's because, well, I need to flip my plate over because it's starting to warp. So, okay, so I'm gonna grab, let's see, I used Mary Merlot. So I'm gonna grab one of those little covers for this. And I'm going to show you that fun thing with the snowflake. Oh, I have one out already. So they come in sheets like this. And if you want to, you can actually use these little sections to die cut more things out of this pretty iridescent paper. So these just punch out. There's 24 in there. And I want to tell you, we don't have a Blushing Bride blend. Let me grab these out of the way. Now when we do our snowman, I'm gonna pull these same colors. So let me grab those markers. So I have Stampin' Up markers that I used on this, and then I used blends on this. Now I'm gonna bring in a really yucky piece of scrap paper to color. So you can't color on this iridescent side. It just doesn't really stay on, or at least it didn't for me. Maybe if you used a darker color. But what I found on accident was when you flip it over, it's just white. It's a matte white. And I found that when you color, because blends bleed through, it actually colors the iridescent side. So, another demonstrator came up with this to make Blushing Bride, since we don't have a Blushing Bride blend. So I'm going to color this back side of the snowflake, and I'm using my brush tip, and I'm literally just putting it on quickly. I'm not being perfect. I'm just trying to be gentle so I don't bend any of the pieces or break it. So this is light Flirty Flamingo. And I know it doesn't look like it matches just yet, but we're going to do a fun trick. So I know her name was Rhonda, the demonstrator that came up with this. I currently have an email into her because she made a whole chart of blends, colors, combos that she came up with to replicate our missing colors, because as you know, our whole line of colors aren't available in blends, and I often use Blushing Bride, so I'm always missing that one and begging Stampin' Up to have that color, because I would love that pink. So I'm just making sure that's all covered, and then I'm going to use Dark Petal Pink. I'm going to go right over top of that like this. Now yesterday, we'll see how this turns out. Yesterday I actually did the Dark Petal Pink and then Flirty Flamingo, and I thought, well, that does not look like Blushing Bride to me. So we'll see. This time I did it a little bit different. We'll see how it comes out. It might be a little bit brighter because I used the Flirty Flamingo first. So I'm just going back over it with the Dark Petal Pink. Now you could use this side, but oops, yesterday we just made a fun discovery while we were crafting, and I'm getting ready to reveal it to you. I love it so much. I have glue all over me, so that's why you keep seeing things stick to me. So this looks a little dark, right? I'm thinking that does not look like petal pink. Now, you do have to let the blends dry. I mixed 2 colors, so it's best to let it dry, but watch what happens when I turn it over. It matches perfectly. So I love it. So even though I felt like I couldn't color this side, I'm going to do a little more color down here. Because the blends bleed through, it did color the iridescent side, and I loved it. So I hope you guys love my happy accident here to make my snowflake match. Okay, so now we just assemble this. Oops, I've got 2 there. So I'm going to layer these. Now this is, if you think about it, this is already 2 layers because you put the strips on there. But because I've glued it and this side gets a little messy, I like to put another one on there. So what do you guys think? How many of you make tags? Or are you thinking of making them now? So I just line those up. And glue them together. And let me move this yucky coloring piece out of the way. And then I'm going to take this piece and glue it on. Which side? Now this is where the messy can get, this is why I get messy, because I didn't think ahead and use adhesive sheets on these little pieces. That would have been so much easier. So I love that. And then, let's see, what I stamped on a little scrap piece of paper. You find my set here. I used, I love this cute little set where these layer. I made 2 different tags, and I love this, but I only wanted joy, and then I made one with happiness. So what do you guys want? Joy or happiness? And I'm going to show you how I stamped it, and then just trimmed it. Seeing if I have a really small white piece. Use this one. Okay, and I'm going to use Merlot ink. I have a huge stack of stamp sets next to me here, so I'm just looking for my snowmen so I can go ahead and get those out. Okay. Well, I'm not seeing any comments. Hopefully I'm not paused again. I seem to be... Okay. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to do this one that says let's see. So I'm going to pick up my stamp. Oops, maybe. This one got used a lot yesterday, so it wants to stick. And I need my stamping mat. find one here. And I'm only going to stamp part of this. I just want one word. So, and I'm just tapping into my ink pad. I'm inking it up with Merlot. And let's do happiness. And since I already have one that says joy, I'm not worried about that too much on my pad. Now, Merlot will kind of stain your stamp, so don't worry when it turns that pink hue. Oops, sorry. I just shook the camera all over the place. Okay, so I use Merlot. Now I'm just going to take my scissors, and I'm going to get my scissors that don't have glue all over them. And I'm just going to trim this very carefully down. So I have just the word happiness. And then we're going to use some white twine from our twine pack. I'm going to show you how I put this through. I actually have some fabric scissors here, or not fabric, I'm sorry. Well, I guess they are fabric, but I use them only for my ribbon. So we need this, and we need some of this Blushing Bride. This ribbon is gorgeous. And I cut it a little longer than I needed. I'm going to show you why here in a second. When you put this through, these aren't very wide. The circle ones are even less. So the other style, this style has a circle. So some of the ribbons are really thick. And what I do is I put them together. So there's a loop down here. And then I fold this over so that they're together when I push it through. And this one frays a ton. So I have these to make it easier, especially if you don't have fingernails. These are called craft tweezers. And this, like I said, this ribbon frays. So it's kind of hard to get it to go through at first. But if you're persistent, which I am, then you can get both pieces to come through. And I've managed to get all the different ribbons to go through, and I use these. These I got from a craft store. They're called craft tweezers, so they open when you push them, and they're very sharp, so they can really get in there. So I lace it through like this, so it comes through the front, and sometimes you have to manipulate it after you get it through. And then I just want a little loop here. I take my twine piece that I'm going to use to tie on my bag or onto my present. And if you don't want this piece because you're going to tape it onto a present, that's fine. You could tape this down and not use twine to tie it onto anything. So if you don't do ribbon on your presents, you could just leave this off. And then, and I found out that it's easier to do this before you pull or tie a bow or a knot or whatever you prefer to do. I just pull that through, and then I'm pulling it, pulling that up so it tightens. I just like that look. I've done it both ways. Let's see. These, nope, that's not it. Oh, I guess on this one, I actually just put it through regularly, and then I tied a piece of twine around it to bunch it together. So it's really whatever you prefer. Now I don't want this white showing here, so I'm just pulling it so that it comes back through and it's on this back side. And then I just tie this in a knot so that it stays in place and doesn't fall off. And you can see how frayed it is. That's why I put it on a little bit longer so that I can trim it up at the end. And then I love these. This fits a dimensional perfectly. So I'm going to use a dimensional on there. I've got little bits of ribbon everywhere. And I'm going to put this right like that. Oops. I'm going to see if I can clean this up a bit. Now this is an adhesive eraser. Stampin' Up! Used to sell these, that's where I got this, but they do sell them in craft stores, and it just helps pick up that adhesive. And then I'm going to actually use a glue dot on this. I hope everyone's still with me because I'm not seeing comments. So if you have any questions, you're enjoying this, or you want to know anything about anything that I'm doing, just please ask. So I'm just going to, right in the middle, put a couple glue dots. And then put this right on the middle of my snowflake. So I love doing the strippy backgrounds. I just sat and did those all day yesterday. I just did tons of sheets, and then I like to do what I call batching. So I do all of one process and then move on to the next. And I'm just going to trim this up so that the ends aren't, frayed. And they might still fray a little bit, but this just helps control it. And I cut them on an angle. So there we have it. That's our first tag. And I think I have time for the next one. Okay, so I'm going to stamp, where'd that tag go that I had? Well, I had one laying here. Oh, Beth, what'd you do with it? Seriously, what did I do with it? Oh, there it is. It fell on the floor. Okay, so let's see. I think I have an extra one down in here, so I'm gonna grab this out. Oh, I actually have a couple extras. And we're going to stamp this cute little snowman and color him in. This is a really quick one. And I'm going to stamp him in Smoky Slate. So I'm staying with our color scheme. And I need my Stampin' pad here. So you could glue these together if you're simple stamping beforehand. Let me grab, I need another one of these. So you could use Smoky Slate. I just grabbed the Mary Merlot, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this together before I stamp. I still, especially when I'm simple stamping, I definitely like to have the 2 layers. So I just cut 2 from basic white, and I'm just lining them up and gluing those together. And I'm going to stamp it before I put my little hole protector on. What are those called? Reinforcers or whatever you call it. So I'm going to grab my Smoky Slate. And I'm just inking him up with that Smoky Slate. And then, now this one I don't have any words on. You could stamp to and from on the back. You could write. You could, I like to date my things. A lot of times when I'm making ornaments or something, I will write Christmas and the year or whatever. So you could certainly do that. So I'm just going to stamp them down here. And the reason why we use this Stampin' Pierce mat is because, let me scoot up a little bit. I'm off screen, sorry about that. These photopolymer stamps do not have any cushion. And in order to get a nice stamped image, you really need that cushion. Okay. So I'm just going to stamp some of the little bit of snow here. I like this snow with the circle in it. There's a couple different snowflakes, but that's the one that I like. So I'm going to stamp that all over. And my other recommendation when you're stamping is to get a block that is the appropriate size. So this is block B. And this is A. So A would work well for this. That way you don't rock your stamp and get the halo of the ink. So I'm just going to add some more snow in here. We want some fun. There we go. Oops. And now we're just going to color. So you can use any color. If you don't have markers, you could use the water painter. Very dry, not super wet like your watercoloring. You could use the watercolor pencils or whatever you have. So I have the Stampin' Write markers, and that's what I am going to use. So I'm just going to, I'm going to color my pink in first. And I'm not too worried if it's super perfect. And then I think I'll alternate this one. I might need all of my markers open for that. Does anybody else get confused? I love these colors though. So cute. I'm going to color his nose gray. Oh, maybe that wasn't a good idea. Oh well, it's done. That's the, oh, these aren't like the blends. I can't undo it. So that's okay. He can have a gray nose. I feel like I did that the other day and it didn't come out as dark. So I'm just alternating my colors here. Usually I just count, but today my brain's just not working as well. Maybe we'll add some sparkle to that nose and you won't be able to tell it's so gray. What do you guys think? And I'm not being super perfect. I'm okay if it's not perfect. Okay, there we go. Now, like I said, you could stamp that with Let It Snow or whatever you want it to say. This one's actually going to become I think, a birthday tag, because we have someone that has a birthday that loves snowmen. So that can be a birthday tag. So I'm going to test out my Wink of Stella. It's kind of messy because it's getting towards the end. I just got it all over me. So baby wipes to the rescue. I've been splattering it since I know it's towards the end, and so it's really coming out of there. So I like to just test it before I put it on my project. And then I'm going to give this nose a little sparkle. Put some sparkle on the hat. And maybe the scarf. And then I'm going to color in some of this snow with my Wink of Stella. I'm not being perfect, I just want it to glitter a little bit. I mean, you know, I love when I see the snow. Oh, I'm not even on the thing. I am so sorry. So I'm just coloring this in like this with my Wink of Stella. Sorry that I was off screen there, and I colored in the hat and the scarf and the nose, and then I just added around like this because the snow glistens. I love glistening snow. Now if you want to splatter it, you can just make sure that it's coming out pretty well, and then you just flick it on the lid, or you can do this. But mine's going kind of dry. Just going to squeeze a little bit here. I have a new one, I'm just not ready to open it yet. Just be careful. The other day I squeezed mine and I got a blob of Wink of Stella. So I'm going pretty close to my project, and I'm just, you can tap the lid or you can flick like this. This is going to be really sprinkly. Now this one I did not do Wink of Stella, so this is a great way to bump up your project a little bit. I'm going to let that dry for a second, and I go ahead and cut my ribbon and my twine that I need. Y'all still with me? So I hope that you have enjoyed learning about my tags. I love making these. I just like dressing things up. I already own all of these supplies, so why not use them? And I like to do more than make cards, so this is great for me. And I hope that I've inspired you to add some tags to your things. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. And this is just a little Mary Merlot. Like I said, it cuts 3 or 4 at a time. So I have plenty. I had plenty with all the projects I was doing yesterday. And then I'm going to thread this through the same exact way that I did last time. Let's trim that off. It tends to start fraying on me. This one frays really easy. It's the type of ribbon it is. I just try to poke it through enough to grab it. If you can't grab it, you can always use the craft tweezers. I got fuzz everywhere. And then I just pull it through, pull that till I get down to my loop, and then I'm going to feed my twine through so that I have a hanger on there. Now you could just put it through this hole and do it that way. I kind of like mine to be hidden, so this is how I have found to hide it. And then I'm tucking both ends through, the loop and pulling it. Sometimes this gets in the way. If it doesn't want to come with both of them, just pull one at a time. You're just making a little, I think it's called a slip knot. I'm going to tie this on the back. I'm tying it in a knot just so that it stays where I want it to. And I'm going to trim up these ends. And there we have it. So there's our original tags that we copied. And here's the two we made today with our gorgeous color scheme of Mary Merlot, Blushing Bride, Smoky Slate, and Basic White. So you can make just really simple tags. You can make lots of layers. You could use all your favorite die cuts and bits and pieces. You don't have to use these dies. You can use whatever you have on hand. I have some more that I'm going to be making. So this one was just cut to size that I wanted and used the corner rounder. And then somewhere, I have a little tag in here. I used just a label punch. And this one has where you can make a hole for the ribbon to come through. And so I used that to make my label, or my tag, I mean. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Give me some hearts if you enjoyed today. Let me know what you think. Share with your crafty friends. And I will definitely be posting more ideas as we go on. And here's another look at that cute little gift bag I put together. And these are for my team gifts, so I can't wait for my team to get these because I'm so excited. And I just, sending love and peace this season does not have to be for Christmas. So I think it covers just winter. So, and I got this online because I love polka dots. So thank you all. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will see you soon. Take care.